Believe it or not, folks, I am going to do a 1-week review of the laptop you've been seeing most of my videos on, from a different style, more of just a general user and travel laptop. So this is the M3 Pro Macbook non-base version, which has 18 cores, GPU, and 1TB SSD. So compared to other laptops or brought them to Europe, such as my Zephyrus G14 and the Lenovo, I'll say with the Apple laptops, one of the things that's different in traveling, besides being light and lasting the whole entire travel without having to charge, even since making this video, it's still been on one charge, is that you need to wipe it down. As an Apple user, you cannot be seen with the smudges that I literally opened this video with. Just make sure you have a cleaning cloth, preferably the Apple cleaning cloth, but this is just a Ray-Ban's one. And you could tell from 1 week's use, I try to keep my hands clean, but it does get oily. So just some premise of kind of this day video. Friday, November 17 at 9 a.m. I was testing Whiskey, downloading Whiskey. I'm going to be making more Mac gaming videos while I have this laptop, considering it for long-time use. There's currently someone right here, you'll see later in this video, where I'm at in Brazil by the beach. Someone parasailing, which is pretty cool. Maybe I'll be doing that. But I tested out Spider-Man M3 Pro with Whiskey that just had a release to 1.1. Of course, the last video I made before this was crossovers, going to the CX Patcher. So for people traveling, or maybe you're a digital nomad and maybe you're considering traveling the country, don't want to get caught, I'm not going to say that this is the official way to do it, but you could download NordVPN and then set your VPN status. I've actually had this happen when I was in Portugal. They messaged me and they said, hey, are you been hacked, or are you having a vacation in Portugal? So I ended up having to tell the company I work remote, obviously this YouTube is a part-time job, that I was indeed traveling, and then they said, oh, you should always let us know. At this point I don't really tell them, but I just try to keep my NordVPN open. This is not sponsored though. I know people do get sponsored and they share their refer a friend, or maybe they have a affiliate link. I'll put the refer a friend link, but I do have a membership to 2025, so I'm not too worried. Probably be done traveling by then. I do want to comment though the difference between, there's actually an App Store version and a version you can download online, and this particular version you can't even choose the state anymore. I don't know if that's actually a Windows thing or a Nord thing, but something I do is you could have a kill switch. So this worked fine. I guess generally I'm talking more from a travel perspective with this video with M3 Pro. Some things you might want to do, or a MacBook. Close your Teams or Outlook when the VPN drops. And I don't even have that installed for my company. I actually just use Chrome. And another thing for traveling, this is of course all done on the MacBook, and this actually the microphone right now is, instead of using the plugged-in headphones, I'm using the M3 Pro. This could simulate what it would sound like on Teams calls, but I use these people because they have unlimited hotspot as well, which if I needed to work remote in different countries, has saved my butt, because sometimes I've had Airbnbs that say they have Wi-Fi, but they actually don't. So just something to consider. And from the morning testing to this was currently recorded in the lounge before the first flight. We get 5 hours remaining since this morning tested on the M3 Pro. It's pretty good battery life compared to Windows. Zephyrus of course can have the AMD mode, and both Zephyrus, Lenovo, and MacBook could actually utilize like USB-C charging, or you can actually plug in the MagSafe, which I'm going to showcase here. Those actually work, so that could be a good additional backup battery plan to, if you wanted to have like a lightweight travel laptop. I did pack the lightest I've ever packed, actually. This is the lightest my backpack's ever been, and it's actually because I forgot to bring underwear. And besides that, I've also have this lighter laptop, which is the lightest I've had from an M3 Pro perspective, versus Zephyrus, which is 4 pounds about, and the Lenovo, which is 6 pounds, and not to mention, depending on the charger you bring, also pretty heavy. So here I've landed in my stopover. I've been on the battery. I don't exactly know what the time on battery means, because I've literally been on battery since 9 o'clock, or I guess it reset when I plugged in that USB charger perhaps. But speaking of which, in the airplane, this is now my international flight. You could either charge your battery up if you wanted to. I've never actually done too much stuff on the airplane in this position. I just thought I'd showcase for some people who really like portability. It's thin and light, fits into the space, but I would say I wouldn't recommend doing this because I've seen Reddit that people's laptops have been crushed when the people set it back. So now just showing some B-roll. Landed in Brazil, heading towards the area where I have my mother-in-law actually has a place here. It's a nice beach area, and this is where we'll be testing the remote capabilities this week. But yeah, it's made it. I've traveled now 2 days, got settled in, went to the beach yesterday, making this content right now. So yeah, the only time I made like this beginning of this resolve video was I had a layover before traveling internationally, about 5 hours, and while I was waiting for someone to pick up to go to the international spot, it took about 5 hours to get there. So I just literally sat my bags down and set up the video, but we were just chilling. My wife was working, she had something to do before leaving. We're of course working remote, so the whole time the brightness has been set to max. It says their time on battery 34 hours. As of recording this DaVinci and finalizing this video and making this voiceover, it says about 35 hours with an hour remaining. On screen it says about an hour 54, but I've been downloading videos from my iPhone, airdropping them, and making this voiceover, and it says there's still an hour left. So I'll probably plug in, go to the beach, finish up this video, but that's my overall takes on M3 Pro for travel. Similar to what the WoW video I made with the M2 Pro. Pretty portable, then I brought it to play WoW. I just want to wrap up with some overall comments. The Zephyrus G15, pretty good for traveling if you wanted to play extended games. I found that in my travels to Europe. I didn't really play too much games when I travel. The MacBook, it's kind of nice. Could text people, don't have to go to my phone, and of course you have WhatsApp, and I could do my Teams calls. The Lenovo, kind of overkill as well. I do like gaming, but I try to get away from it from time to time. I think it's better as like a desktop replacement. It's back at home, sitting there. But yeah, that's a 6-pound device, and then I believe that the charger for the 330 watt is also 3 pounds. So for this trip, I just brought a small Anker 100 watt that I'll be plugging in the MagSafe, and then that thing probably weighs like half a pound. And then the MacBook is 3.5 pounds, I believe. So overall better on my back, was pretty light. I tried to pack light for this trip. I got an Australia trip coming up, but I think what I'm gonna do, to be honest with everyone on this video, is return this device and get an M1 Pro from Micro Center. I'll either get the binned version, which is the lower core count, for about $1,000, or I might spend $200 more and get 1 terabyte with the unlocked cores. I'm not exactly sure because I'm gonna be pretty passive, just browsing the internet in Australia, maybe making a couple videos here and there, but not too much. But yeah, that's my take on the travel instance of a MacBook. Pretty similar to last year's. Nothing more to add. Perhaps the battery life has lasted long, which if it was on the M1 or M2 Pro, probably would have already been dead by now. But I do like over Windows laptops that, you know, it kind of lasts longer. Or at least when you close the lid, it has proper sleeping. So that's my take for anyone considering this laptop for travel. See you guys in the next video. Peace.